More CM Punk news.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, it's minor news, but it's still interesting. Fightful has a story, apparently. Let me see what they say here, because a lot of people are sending this to us. Apparently, AEW is collecting statements and interviews about the nature of what happened with CM Punk and Jack Perry.
They're collecting them, then they're going to have the statements graded and slabbed for collectors.
Also, and here's the hottest bootleg on the market, there's footage of the incident.
No!
There were cameras all over Wembley. Also, after the incident...
When does this get aired on their program instead of the they showed us last night?
Punk and Tony had an altercation that was described as contentious, but that's all anyone knows.
So, let's just recap this real briefly. So they fly him over from Chicago to London. He ends up at Heathrow Airport on Saturday morning. The phone number they have given him for his car service is no good. He's got no car there to take him to his hotel or to the stadium. He can't call them. Apparently, from what we have been told by a variety of fans and people over there on the scene, the Uber situation was not tenable in London that day with 80,000 of these raving wrestling maniacs. So he has to ride, as they call it, the tube, the subway, to his hotel. I guess he was going first and then to the stadium. And there are pictures on the internet. He got lost. Imagine that. I assume he's probably never ridden the tube before, because when he was in London for the WWE, they pretty much carry their guys back and forth, right? So he gets lost, and there's pictures on Twitter of fans helping him find his way and sitting next to him on the tube. Then he gets there to the building, and right before he goes out for the opening match on the pay-per-view, he has to watch this little childish indie nitwit, this little fucking Vienna sausage-dicked moron that used to hang around with fucking chimpanzees swinging in the trees, make mockery of him on camera and the what he was asked to do by the company a few weeks ago. Remember, it wasn't like he just of his own volition came up and said, "Hey, Jungle Jack off, we ain't gonna do that. Ain't gonna be happening." They came to him. We've heard Tony Schiavone. We've heard the producer of the television. We've heard people from the office. We've heard a variety of people came to him and said, "Hey, can you tell this guy not to do this? Because he won't listen to us." Now that same nitwit's out there in front of 80,000 people and all the pay-per-view audience, putting the mouth on Punk's efforts that he was asked to do to begin with by the company.
Hey, I got a question I don't know the answer to, and I don't know if you would either, but when Jack Perry did that, did he know Punk was there? How late was Punk getting there? Did he know Punk was there, or was Punk late that he wasn't even...
No, hold on. Because it was the last match on 0 Hour, and Punk was the first match on the pay-per-view, and it's obvious Punk was at Gorilla. He'd been there, and he knew that he was going to be the next match, and he was probably going to be in the vicinity of a fucking monitor. That's why he did it. And he figured his little fucking Cucamonga friends in the treehouse, the boys club, would take up for him and prevent any repercussions, because there are none repercussions for anything there.
Or did he think Punk wouldn't do anything because Tony Khan would be right there if he was a Gorilla?
Well, he probably thought that too. But I don't know why he would think that, because everybody does everything when Tony's around. Sometimes they're doing things with Tony, from what we've heard from disgruntled employees. So then the fucking prick comes through the goddamn curtain. "Hey, you got a problem with me? You got something to say to me?" "Yeah, I just said it out there. What are you going to do about it?" "Well, here." And now we find out he didn't ghoul. I thought he just snatched the idiot around the fucking neck. Apparently, he actually front face locked him. FAFO. But now then the story has been expanded to they knocked over some shit at the table because that's where Tony was sitting. So apparently Tony was there. I don't know why they're collecting statements. If Tony was there, what he saw is the only thing that matters, and what he says the only thing should be the only thing that goes. So
yeah, what does Tony say? Really?
If he's sitting there when this happens and they get him broke up, if it's me, I'm like, you, what's the fucking issue? And to hear his story, you, what's the fucking response? And whichever story that I think is fucking sounds more legitimate, I'm going to believe because I'm sitting right there, and I'm going to boot the other one out of the fucking building and the company.
Who are the investigators?
Well, fucking Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe have opened up an investigative branch, apparently. I don't, like I said, Clouseau could be on the case. There were no investigators last time in the investigation. There were no independent fucking detectives on this case. It was, okay, we're going to talk to a few people, and then we're going to fucking goddamn just wait until everybody forgets about it, we hope. That was pretty much the goddamn deal.
It was the Kahn family attorneys in Illinois that were doing the investigation, wasn't it?
But yes, we're going to talk to everybody, and then we're going to do nothing about it, and we're going to see if everybody will forget about it. That's what happened. Well, so I doubt very seriously if we're going to get any earth-shattering results from this investigation, but I think the footage...
Yeah, what does that
definitely
tell? What does that say that the investigation would have to expand upon?
So the owner of the whole company was sitting in the proximity of the issue, and they have it on camera.
We need more information. We need more information.
If we only knew what happened, it's like putting together the goddamn Kennedy assassination. We've got so little to go on. We know what dipshit did on camera out there. We know what Punk did when he came through the curtain. Boss man was sitting right there, and they got it on video.
We have a Jack Perry update. He's doing nothing and brushing his hair.
Well, that does take a while.
He's got lots of time.
One thing you can say about the kid is he's got a lot of hair.
Do they reinstate Punk before the pay-per-view?
If they have half a fucking mind, and remember I put the qualifier if on there, he's got to be out of his mind. He's going to kill Chicago. He's going to kill Chicago. If these people, they might not have thought he was going to be on Wednesday night on Dynamite when they bought tickets, but for the people who bought tickets for Collision, Punk's show, and didn't they get screwed out of? They got screwed out of him one time before, didn't they, or did they? In this whole situation.
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, the AEW fans, they take a lot of screwing in.
But nevertheless, if he's not on Collision and definitely if he's not on the pay-per-view, and when the people bought the tickets, it was after Punk had returned, correct? Where they had every reason to believe he would be on these programs.
Right.
And now if he ain't, they're going to set the seats on fire. What has happened? Jesus Christ, what has happened to people's minds? And I mean, and that's a joking line, obviously, but people have done that in the past. One time, they were bringing Jimmy Valiant back to Memphis. He hadn't been there in a year. Handsome Jimmy Valiant was one of the most over guys in the fucking territory. And they advertised it. He was in the main event. And goddamn, that's when he had a health issue and he passed out in the Charlotte airport before he was on the way to fly to Memphis and didn't make the show. And guess what they did, Brian? They set the fucking seats on fire. So, I mean,
Vader and Inoki.
Vader and Inoki, they didn't set the seats on fire. They threw him into the fucking ring.
Got banned from the building.
Yes. Not Vader and Inoki, but all of wrestling got banned from the building. You know, I'm just saying it's insane to me. So what if he front-face locked a preliminary fucking boy? The preliminary boy also ran his fucking mouth and deserved it. But God damn it. The fucking main event guy in his hometown, you're running a pay-per-view and you're going to lead them to believe that he's going to be there up until 5 days before the show, where they don't even know a card to begin with anyway. And then you pull him, they're going to kill Chicago. They won't be able to go back there on a fucking bet.